Hello everybody, it's Paul East with the Raw Life Health Show making another video for you, and I am just so excited because I've been eating so many different fruits off the local trees here in South Florida for my food, and I have to laugh when people say it's a lot of money to eat this way. And even if you're living in a colder environment or not a tropical environment where they're not growing fruit in the trees, it's just when the season comes where fruit is in season, wherever you live all over the world, it's going to be cheaper. The food's going to be cheaper. The fruit's going to be cheaper. So in the winter time, you might have certain foods that are cheaper, but the greens and stuff. But in the summertime, wherever you are, the food, if you can't get it for free, it's still going to be cheaper. And that's where I'm at right now. And I'm trying to do something, and I want to make this video to caution people that have been eating this way for quite a while. And see, when you first get into eating a vegan diet or a raw food diet, you're just eating a whole bunch of recipes and stuff, and anything's going to be better than what you're eating. It's better to overeat on recipes, raw food recipes, than overeat on McDonald's. But what happens is, after a while, you start wanting to get away from the processed food or the healthy junk food, and you want to start eating a little bit more wiser. And eventually you'll get to a point where you stop eating the dehydrated foods. You're not really into the recipes. You just want your food as simple as possible, and almost like a mono meal. And like for me, if I'm hungry, I eat an apple. If I'm still hungry, I'll eat another apple. If I'm still hungry, I eat another apple, and something like that. The less processed as possible. But what happens is you could have complete control emotionally and physically of what you're eating and everything else. But for me, this is a trap, and this is what I want to mention because maybe it is for some of you. I don't have tremendous amounts of money, and I'm very careful of how I spend my money, and I will spend a good amount of money on food like durian or some exotic food if I have to, but I do keep an eye on my money. I think money is a good thing. It helps us from not overeating. I think if we don't have any cost of food, I think people would really overeat a lot more than they do. This is why so many people overeat on junk food, because it's so cheap. They can afford a lot of it. But when you're eating healthy, it's not always cheap. Even though in the summertime food's less expensive, it's still, it costs money. So if this is why rich people are usually overweight or sicker than the people that aren't as rich. And so it's all been that way throughout history. The people that were richest, even before electricity, the people that had candles in their castles, they could stay up all night eating, where the people that had less money were going to sleep when the sun went down, and they were eating very frugal and very simple. They weren't eating these big fancy meals and all these meats and everything else. And there was a difference there. So here's a trap I have. So I got to a point at the beginning of this year and also last year where I ate every other day for like 8 months, every other day. And other days I would juice, or sometimes I would do nothing. And I felt amazing. And then slowly but surely I started eating every day again, but I started doing like one meal a day. And then I did a little bit more. But now as the season's coming here, and I did it last year, but I made a mistake last year because I would overeat one day and then I would not eat the next day. But I want to balance it out more. But now what happens is I got all this abundance fruit, and I'm learning more about it, how to pick it, and realizing like something like this, which is a sour sap. I used to think these have to be ripe and you wait till they fall off the tree. But I just recently found out you can pick them unripe off the tree and they'll ripen. The same thing with a lot of fruit. And I just have more fruit than I can eat. So the trick is, or the trap is, when I first got into eating this way, bye-bye, somebody's leaving. When I first got into eating this way, I would go to potlucks and other things and just pig out because I didn't know when my next meal was going to come because of money. And so I would eat, as whenever I get an opportunity to eat something especially healthy, I would eat. Well, now the food is so good, and I know the season doesn't last long. Like we just finished lychee season, so I was eating a lot of lychees, and now longan season is coming. So I have to control myself, and you have to control yourself. And I did this in New York. When I lived in New York, I would find somebody that sells figs, amazing figs. I'm like, wow, there's only one place in Brooklyn where I could get amazing figs. And I would go there and I'd buy way so many and eat just so many, not knowing when I would get that opportunity again. And that's not necessarily a good thing. It's not. there's no excuse for gluttony. The body isn't going to excuse you from the consequences of overeating. So I want to warn everybody, and you might say, well, you said all that just to get to that. It's important. It's important you think about this, and this is why I say you have to remember the stomach is the size of a fist, or should be. And the answer isn't to make the stomach bigger so you can eat more, or to be more active, or to be more active so you can eat more. You want to make sure you have control. And the key to health, I say it all the time, is to eat as simple as possible and eat the foods that are going to give your body the most nutrients while using the least amount of work to get those nutrients. But eating late at night, overeating, eating miscombined foods, even if they're raw foods or vegan foods, isn't going to help the situation. In every area, you have to do the best that you can do. So keep that in mind when you're eating, because a lot of people are going to fall in the trap. Well, now I'm eating a vegan diet so I can eat whatever I want as much as I want. And a lot of people at the beginning, like I said, they'll eat a lot of vegan junk foods and recipes and things. Again, better than the standard American diet, but still not the best foods. But then the next level of the trap is where I'm at. So now you're eating just pure foods, like just fruits and vegetables. But you can still overeat. Now the result isn't as hard or bad on the body as overeating junk food. However, you have to remember your body is at a different level now when you cleaned out and you've been eating this way a while. So the consequences could be just the same. So the key to being healthy emotionally, physically, and every level is consistency. Don't go up and down. Don't change things around while you're eating the types of food. No, stay consistent at what you're doing. And that also includes the amount of food you're consuming. Stay consistent. And if you can come consistent and diligent at doing the same amount of food every day, and if it's the highest quality food you can get, you're assuring yourself, putting yourself in the best position possible to have health from a nutritional standpoint. Of course, there's other things that create health challenges, but from a diet standpoint, have a set amount of food, which is not overeating, and be consistent, and you'll be blessed. So think about that. I want to make you just think, be aware of that. And if you have comments or questions, put them below the video. Thank you for watching. Until then, everybody, have a great day and a great world life.
This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life. Bright. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life. Brighten up your life.